Today we're going to make a picture of a woman who's important to you, inspired by the artwork of Mary Cassatt, who we spoke about earlier. So you're going to choose someone in your life, like your mom or your grandmother or an aunt or your sister, who's important to you, and we're going to make a portrait or a picture of them. To start, we're going to hold our paper like a tall building. That's called portrait style. And we're going to start with a big kind of pointy U shape. So it's almost between a U and a V. The human head is shaped something like an upside down egg usually. So we're going to make that, but we're not going to put the top on yet because we want to leave space for the hair. So let's make a big upside down U shape that kind of comes to a little bit of a point. That's for the face. Then let's make the neck. So that's 2 lines down. The shoulder is going to be a curved line that hops from that neckline all the way to the bottom corner of the paper. This is just a portrait of the person from their shoulders up, not their full body. Now you can think about what kind of shirt they normally wear. Do they have a U-shaped collar? Do they have a V-neck? Do they have a different type of collar? You choose. I'm going to just make mine a slight V-neck. And now we're going to go to the hair, which is really important in our portraits. So try to think about what your person's hair looks like. I'm going to show you some examples on this separate piece of paper. You can pause the video if you see one that looks like the person's hair that you're trying to draw. So I'm going to make a bunch of different examples here. If your person has bangs or hair on the front of their head that comes down, you can draw some bangs on their forehead. Then you would draw a line for their part, where their hair parts, and their hair that comes down. If it's wavy, you might make it a little bit wobbly towards the bottom. That could be one hairstyle. If your person's hair kind of swoops to the side, you might put a line that goes across their head like that, a straight line, and then maybe their hair is straight. You could make lines like that. Maybe they have no hair in the front of their face. They have no bangs, no side bangs. You could just make a line that goes down above their head, and then 2 lines to go to the side. If their hair is curly, you're going to want to make a bouncy line like this. Think about how long their hair is too. If their hair is really long, you're going to want to keep going with that line. Your person could have hair that is kind of short, so you could put a line that goes across their head, and then the hair would stop up here if their hair is short. So there are all sorts of different ways to make hair. If you need some help with that step, please feel free to hop on the meet and I'll help you out. All right, so those are some different styles of hair. You think about what your person's hair looks like. Mine goes across their forehead. This is going to be a portrait of my mom. I'm going to give it to her for Mother's Day. And then some hair that goes down, and her hair ends just above her shoulders. All right, now we've got the hair, and we're going to do the eyes. The eyes are also really important. So let's make 2 football shapes. That's going to be a rainbow shape and an upside down rainbow shape. Then we should have enough space for one more eye between this eye and the next eye. Another football shape. Don't worry if the eyes aren't exactly the same. For most people in real life, their eyes are not exactly the same or not exactly symmetrical. Okay, so now we're going to make the iris, the colored part of the eye. So we're going to do a letter C shape that touches the top eyelid and the bottom. If you just do a circle in the middle of the eye, it's going to look like the person is really surprised, like their eyes are popping out of their head. If you do the iris just at the top, touching the top of the rainbow shape here, you're going to make it look like the person's looking up. And if you want to make the person looking down, what do you think you should do? If you want to make the person looking down, you might make the iris touching the bottom part of that football shape that we made. Okay, so we want to make them looking straight ahead. So we're doing a C shape and a backwards C shape that touches the top eyelid and bottom. Then in the middle, we do the iris. I'm just going to shade that in for now. So that's going to ultimately be black. So C shape, backwards C shape, and the iris. If you want to leave part of that, I'm sorry, the pupil. If you want to leave part of that white, you'll make it look like the eye's a little shiny. Now above the top eyelid, I'm going to put another little line for the back of the eyelid, and then the eyelashes, which will just be curved lines. They start curved like letter C's, and then they get straight, and then they curve the other way. C, 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 straight, 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 curve the other way. And then the bottom eyelashes. And then above the eye comes the eyebrow. Mine's gonna be going a little bit behind the bangs, so you can't see the whole thing. You do a straight line, then a rainbow line, and another rainbow line. Now people have all sorts of different ways that they like to make noses. Some people like to do a C shape like we just said. Some like to do a U shape. Some like to do an upside down 7. Some like to do a combination of things like a almost half circle, C shape, and a line up. There are lots of different ways to make noses. You choose your favorite and go ahead and make a nose. I'm gonna do that half circle, forward C, backward C, and line straight up. All right, now I'm going to make a curved line, 2 curved lines on top for the lips, and a U shape underneath. Now all I'm missing is ears. Ears are going to be like a really flat C shape. I'm using a lot of C shapes in this portrait, but it's going to be really flat against the head, and it should go from the eye to the lips. All right, now we need to think about what accessories we can add to make this really look like your person you're trying to make a portrait of. So if your person has glasses, you could put glasses around their eyes. To do that, you might go like this, make a rectangle, line in the middle, a rectangle. If your person that you're drawing only wears their glasses first thing in the morning, then you probably don't want to add those. If you have a person who likes to wear jewelry, you could add a necklace, you could add earrings. What else could we add to make this look like our person? You can add a fun pattern to their shirt if you'd like some stripes or something. This is your step where you're going to be creative and try to make it look like your person. When you're finished with this step, if you have time, you can outline in black marker. If you don't have time to outline in black marker, that's okay. We're gonna finish this up next week. So next week, we will add color to our portrait and add some finishing touches, maybe a background, okay? So you may outline in black, but if you don't have time, that's okay. Put it in a safe spot till next week, and we'll finish it up then. As always, hop on the meet if you have any questions. We'll see you soon. Bye.